The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism.
It might have seemed like it came out of nowhere when Saudi Arabia and its allies blockaded Qatar and President Trump accused it of supporting terrorism, even though it's a military partner. But this all makes a lot more sense when you see that Qatar and Saudi Arabia have been rivals for 20 years. And that competition plays out across the Middle East and really helps to explain the region's chaos. So Qatar is this tiny country that, starting with its independence just in 1971, was really dominated by the more powerful Saudi Arabia. And no country likes to be dominated by a neighbor, even if they both speak Arabic, export energy, and have Sunni monarchies. So Qatar decides it has to rival Saudi Arabia if it wants autonomy, and it has some advantages. It makes friends with everybody, opens trade relations with Israel, improves ties with Iran, which is Saudi Arabia's arch-rival, hosts a big American air base. It starts a satellite network, Al Jazeera, to project soft power in the region. But most important, it gets really rich by exploiting huge natural gas reserves. The Emir travels around the Middle East and the world, meeting with leaders, brokering peace talks, throwing money around. The Saudis are not happy and push back, but to some degree, eventually, they come to accept Qatar's independence. Then the Arab Spring happened. Popular uprisings spring up across the Middle East, in some places toppling governments or inciting civil wars. For Qatar, it's an opportunity because most Arab autocrats are aligned with Saudi Arabia. So it backs the uprisings with Al Jazeera airtime, diplomatic support, and later money and sometimes guns. But Saudi Arabia feels threatened by the uprisings. So each time a power vacuum opens, they both rush in. In some places, like Tunisia, Saudi Arabia and Qatar each back opposing political parties. But elsewhere it gets more violent. In Libya, they arm rival groups who will later fight a civil war. Their worst rivalry is in Egypt. Qatar backs the Muslim Brotherhood, which wins the presidency, but Saudi Arabia backs the Egyptian military, which takes over in a coup. Qatar's big campaign began to collapse in 2013. Its allies faced a bunch of losses, and the emir stepped down, passing power to a young son who had less experience. And then, last month, President Trump received an awfully warm welcome when he visited Saudi Arabia. Less than 2 weeks later, the Saudis announced the blockade. It's not clear exactly what led to the move, but President Trump really surprised everybody when he backed the Saudis on Twitter. Qatar's economy and security are now in peril. This huge American air base was supposed to have been a guarantee against getting bullied by the Saudis, but it didn't really work. The Saudis took a big step towards reasserting control over the region, which means promoting friendly autocrats and opposing Iran. For the United States, opposing Qatar, seemingly overnight, sent a troubling message to other allies. They'll have to wonder, will President Trump turn on them next?